Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I'll be giving you my yearly outlook for the SP500, US30 and the crude oil market. But before we go into today's analysis, let's do a recap, a review on our previous last episode 3 weeks ago. I'm still favoring the downside on the euro market, but currently the market is back into this 2016-2015 range. Alright, the market is back into this 2015-2016 range, and if you look carefully, the market is testing this strong resistance area. Alright, this strong trend line resistance area. Okay, so we might see some rejection from this area. Okay, but I'm still very much favoring the downside on the euro, but that will happen depending on what is going on with the US index. Okay, but currently there is no more trading opportunity. I'm still looking at euro. The currency pair I'm really looking at to trade currently is SP500, US30, crude oil, or the Bitcoin market. Okay, but right now on euro, there is no more trading opportunity. I'll still be looking at this pair because this market might just break out of this trend line and continue this bullish move. But for now, the market is back into this 2060 range. Okay, I'll still keep you guys updated on this euro market. If the market is ready to drop again, I'll keep you updated on this channel. All right, but for now, let's look at the New Zealand dollars. All right, same thing with the New Zealand dollar. You know, when the DXY is selling, every major pairs goes the opposite direction. Okay, so I was expecting to look for a sell opportunity on this at this weekly time frame. Okay, all right, you can see what is happening. Market is coming back to test this trend line. If the market respects this trend line, I might also be looking to find a set trade. But for now, from our previous analysis last week, I was expecting the market to come test this area, then drop. Okay, the market tests this area once, it dropped, tested it the second time, break out of it, and this trend is heading to the top side. Okay, this double top, all right, that is formed here. I was thinking that once we test this supply area, this trend is going to continue to the downside, but that never happened because of this strong support level, this strong weekly support level. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right, you see this strong weekly support level, so the market is reacting to this area. All right, I was expecting the market to come test here, break this weekly support, then continue this bearish trend into this institutional support level of 0.5, but that never happened. Okay, so the market has invalidated my market structure. All right, I'll just still be looking at this New Zealand dollars. Okay, but let's look at the DXY. If the DXY is selling, all these major pairs are going to be buying. Okay, I'll use the DXY as overall direction on how to trade these currencies. On the monthly time frame, see this DXY has been selling. Okay, this guy has been selling. That's why the euro market has been buying. All right, that's why I'm still favoring the upside on the DXY. I'm favoring the upside. Okay, but if this market is able to sustain this trend line, okay, this trend is going to go up. But if we break above this neckline, this demand area, and this trend line, then the next area for DXY is 84 USD. All right, it's 84 USD. But if this trend line holds, we are still going to go to the top side. But the reason why I'm really favoring the upside was this double bottom that is formed on this institutional support level of 88 USD. All right, that's what I'm feeling. But if the market break this neckline and this trend line, then this bearish trend is still going to continue to the downside. But if you respect this level, then we are heading to the top side. Okay, so right now there is no trading opportunity. The DSY is pointing to the downside. That's why the euro, all these major pair, they are all buying currently. Okay, I'll keep you guys updated subsequently on this channel when this trend is about to trend one more time. Okay, but for now there is no more trading opportunity on this major currency pair. So let's go down to our business of today: SP500, US30, and crude oil. Let me show you how we are going to, make some pips on this currency pair this year. I call for this SP500 all-time high last year, 2024, when this market was still selling at about 4,000. It's about 4,000 from our first episode on this channel. I call for this all-time high, US30 and SP500. I told you guys this currency pair is going to give us an all-time high of about 6,000 to 40-something thousand last year on my first episode on this channel. So it was when this guy formed this inverse head and shoulder pattern, all right, on this weekly time frame. All right, this left shoulder, the right shoulder, right, this was the two right shoulder that was formed here, then a head. That was when I started calling for this SP500 bullish trend. Okay, so you could see how the market break out of the neckline, came back to test it, then continue this bullish move. But this year 80% bearish on SP500. I will show you the reason why in a bit. I'm 80% bearish on SP500. Okay, so it was when the market came back to test this trend line. Okay, market tested this trend line. Let me adjust it a little bit. All right, you see at the first touch, a buy to the upside, came back to test it again. Same thing, coming back to test this trend line to form a confluence zone here. It was at this confluence zone that we started looking for the buy trade on a lower time frame inside of 2024. Okay, but this year I'm still 80% favoring the downside. All right, I will show you in a bit. All right, the reason why I'm favoring the downside is because of this same pattern that is formed, that is head and shoulder pattern that is formed on this weekly time frame. Okay, you could see this the right shoulder. Okay, this is the head and this is the left shoulder. All right, if you look carefully, you see the market has broken this trend line that happens to be the neckline. Okay, a break, a retest, I'll be looking for a set trade. Okay, but the reason why we have not been able to break this support level is because of this weekly trend line that has been acting as a strong support level. Okay, you see how this trend line has been acting as a massive, as a strong base for this SP500. All right, see the market tested it. There was a push to the upside, tested here, push to the upside, same thing here, push to the upside. Now you can see how this market is also reacting at this area. Okay, but let's see what happens in the coming days, because I'm looking to find a sell opportunity at this supply area. I'm sorry, let me change the color of this thing. All right, you just have to quickly change the color of this guy. So I'm looking to find a sell opportunity. All right, just wait for the pullback into this area, to the supply area, before we look for a sell opportunity on this SP500. All right, push back into this weekly supply area. Then we'll be looking for the sell opportunity on the lower time frame. Okay, so this is more like a break and retest of a trend line. Okay, all right, and this pattern, you know how powerful they are. This head and shoulder pattern, it's a very strong, powerful pattern. This was the same pattern that was formed last year. That is a inverse head and shoulder pattern that was formed last year when I started calling for 6,000 plus all-time high on the SP500. But the same pattern here now is formed on the weekly time frame. That is bearish pattern, head and shoulder pattern on the weekly time frame. So let's be looking at a sell. I'll be looking for the sell opportunity at this area. First take profit will be at this level of 5,000. All right, will be at this level of 5,000. Overall target will be here. Overall target will be here at 4,200. 4,200. Okay, but meanwhile, if this level is, if we are still sustaining above this weekly trend line, this trend will go to the upside. But if we break this weekly trend line, we are coming down to this downside. But to be on the safe side, guys, take out your profits right here at 5,000, a round up number of 5,000. Okay, then once our first profit target is triggered, our stop losses will be moved to break even. Okay, now let's check US30. The same thing is also happening with the with the US30 market. Okay, you can see there was a double top that was formed right here on this weekly time frame. Okay, all right, the market has broken out of the neckline. All right, so we look for a sell opportunity at the breakout of the neckline, at the retest of the neckline. Okay, so this is the breakout. Let's wait for a retest, then before we look for the sell opportunity. Okay, because you can see the market also broke out of this weekly trend line. All right, there's the first test, second test, third test, market broke out, a retest here. I'll be looking for the sell opportunity on the lower time frame. Okay, first profit target will be here, 37 or $38,000. all right, the overall target is at this level of 32,000 to 29,000. Okay, but for now, I'll still keep you guys updated subsequently on this channel, on the SP500 US30. Okay, the currency pair has really made us some profit last week is a US oil, crude oil, from our last episode on crude oil. Okay, from our last episode on crude oil, we have been selling crude oil since 2024. I've been selling crude oil since 2024 at $81. So that is the currency pair I'm currently on right now. I still have one position open on that trade. All right, if you have been following my analysis on the group charts and on this channel, I posted that US oil on my signal on my Telegram channel. You can use the link at the description to join my Telegram community. I call for US oil drop from $81 per barrel to the current price of $64. But as for US30 and SP500, this is what I'm looking at. I'm waiting for the pullback into this supply, supply level. Right, it's like a break, a retest, continuation to the downside, to look for a sell opportunity. All right, but for now, let's look at US30, crude oil, and see if we can find another sell opportunity to add more position to our trade. The US oil market, we have been on this trade since last year. Our first entry was at the third touch of this weekly trend line from last year, I think in March or in June. So from our last episode, I told you guys we are going to drop into this institutional level of 64 USD. But this year I'm seeing a drop of US oil into 34,000. Into $34 USD. It might drop into this institutional level of 34 US dollar. This institutional level of 34 US dollar. But I'm aiming to take out my profit at 52 USD or 43 USD. Okay. It was when this trend formed this multiple head and shoulder pattern last year. That was when I started calling for this drop. All right, this was the left shoulder, the two right shoulder, we have a head right here. Okay, it was at the third touch of this trend line. That was when we started looking for the sell opportunity, right? That's when we started looking for the sell opportunity. But I was able to find another trading opportunity this year at a retest of this Fibonacci retracement. Let's go to daily time frame. All right, it was at a retest on this 50 Fibonacci retracement level. All right, you can see this is the breakout, a retest here. That was when I find an entry on the lower time frame this year. That was like my third entry. All right, that was my third entry, and my overall target was at this extension level where the market is reacting from now. All right, actually my first entry was at the breakout of this daily trend line. Okay, first entry was at the breakout of this daily trend line. All right, I dropped that signal on my Telegram and WhatsApp community. Breakout of this daily trend line. Okay, so my first take profit was at 67. The overall target was at this institutional level of 64 USD. That's a round-up number of 64 USD. All right, and my second entry was at a retest of the 51 Fibonacci retracement level. Okay, so market has dropped. My stop losses has been moved to break even. Still have one position open, but I'm going to show you how we might also find another sell opportunity. The way I'm waiting to find another fourth sell opportunity is either at a third touch of this trend line, or I will look for a consolidation at this support that might turn resistance again here. Okay, this is a support level that might turn resistance. Okay, if you go down to 4 hours time, so on the 4 hours time frame, I'll be looking for the sell opportunity here. Right, it's like a tight consolidation that is formed on this resistance level. So if I see like a hours breakout of a engulfing candlestick here, I'll be going short on this trade. All right, my stop loss has been moved to break even. If I see a breakout of a 4 hours engulfing candlestick here, I'll go short. First take profit at this level. All right, other take profit will be at 52 USD. So once my first take profit is triggered, all my stop loss will be moved to break even. Then my first entry here, stop loss that is at break even here, I'll move it to this recent break even here. So I'll be aiming to take out overall target right here on this 34 USD. So we might see a drop of US oil this year, maybe by the end of 2025 or in the mid of 2026. We might see a drop into this institutional level of 34 USD. Okay, but for now I'll still just be looking at US oil. If this market give me a 4 hours break of bearish engulfing candlestick, I will add more position to my position. All right, if not, if the market break out of this level, that means this trade might continue to the upside. But if we respect this level, we are heading down to the downside. But meanwhile, there is a pattern here, daily time frame. There's another pattern that is formed right here. All right, this head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder, right shoulder, this is the head. And remember, another pattern was formed on the weekly time frame. So on the daily time frame now, another pattern is also being formed. So I'll be waiting to look for the sell opportunity here on that 4 hours time frame. A breakout of a bearish engulfing candlestick, I'm going short. But if that does not happen, the way I will also look for a set trade is to wait for the third touch of this trend line. So once we test this trend line the third time, I'll be looking to find a sell opportunity. This setup might take days, might take weeks to happen. All right, so you just have to be patient and wait for the setup and wait for the market to come to you. You don't have to chase the market. All right, so I always trade at my area of value. So if the market is not at my area of value, I'm not interested in that trade. All right, but as I said, if I see a 4-hour breakout on this neckline right here, and that 4 hours time frame, I'll be going short. If that does not happen, then you wait for the third touch on this trend line. Bitcoin is another currency pair that is on my watch list. All right, we call for this Bitcoin all-time high right from early 2024, I think in March. That was when we started looking for the buy trade on Bitcoin at $27,000. All right, I started calling for that massive bull run when this trend formed this head and shoulder pattern here. Right, left shoulder, right shoulder, this was the head. Okay, that was when we started looking for the buy trade. All right, our buy trade was somewhere inside of on the lower time frame, on the weekly time frame, inside of this area at 27,000 USD. All right, on the lower time frame, that was when we started looking for a buy opportunity, and our overall target was at 47,000 USD, this resistance area. Okay, I also call for this from our previous episode on Bitcoin at a breakout of when this trend broke out of this weekly consolidation here. Also call for this move to the top side to 100,000 USD. Okay, you can check my previous analysis on Bitcoin. All right, I consistently call for this move to the upside. If you have been following my analysis from the very beginning, we predicted this move, and I also show you my entry, my exit on this channel. Okay, so if you have not been part of the family, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and drop a comment at the comment section. Okay, because I'll be keeping you guys updated subsequently on this currency pair if they are ready to trend one more time. Okay, you guys know I love trading a trendy market. I love trading when the market is about to start trending. That's when I go into a trade. Okay, so I show you my entry, my exit last year on Bitcoin, from my first Bitcoin analysis to the very last episode on this channel. Our entry was at the breakout on this with 100,000 USD. Okay, all right, so the way I'm looking to trade Bitcoin this year is I'm waiting for this market to come test this trend line. All right, because this weekly trend now has been acting as a strong support. First test, a push to the upside. Second test, push to the upside. So I'm waiting for the pullback into this zone, into this complex zone, to look for this swing high here to this previous low. All right, so you see this area is a strong base. It's a strong base. The 50 Fibonacci retracement and this trend line, they are meeting at the same spot. So this is a confluence zone that I'm also looking at to find a buy trade on Bitcoin. All right, so at this area we'll be looking to find a buy trade. If the market is able to sustain above this area, Bitcoin, bro, 160,000 is the next level for Bitcoin. This extension level here, that's the next level for Bitcoin. Okay, or my overall target will be at 160,000 USD. Okay, let me delete this. So I'm waiting for Bitcoin to contest this supply area before I look for a sell opportunity. Okay, so be looking for the sell opportunity at this area. If Bitcoin is able to sustain this area, this trend is still going to the top side. All right, but right now I'll be patiently waiting for Bitcoin. Okay, daily time frame, there's this tight consolidation here that is formed. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, guys. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and join my Telegram and WhatsApp community. Be part of my YouTube family. Let's grow together. Subscribe to the channel, like, and drop a comment at the comment section. And I will see you guys in the next episode.